So who leaked the album?
The plant.
The plant?
Yeah, when you're anticipating a project being really successful, you need time to produce it. The CDs.
Right.
So they shipped it internationally, and then it came out. And I was upset the first 10 minutes that the record was out, and then it blew over because I realized that they got the record in its entirety. So they understand what my presentation and what the record was about. You know what I mean? And that's enough. And that's why I'm getting the feedback I'm getting on the actual record where they're comparing it to Get Rich instead of any of the other projects that I made. And that makes me feel like I'm winning because you don't get a second chance at the first impression. When your first impression is the largest debut in hip-hop album, you set the bar pretty high. You know, so I'm in a good space, and I'm like, I just proved to myself and to a lot of people that I can continue to create at a pace that is up to standard.
But we actually need the fans of the artist to go out and buy the music. Like, I think it's a better decision to buy the album for $10.99 and get 15 songs uploaded to your computer and file it in your library. If you lose your computer and lose your iPod, your hard drive crashes, you just go get your favorite music that you like. And you know, I'm not saying don't go to iTunes and download your favorite single. Who somebody may not have a hot album, but if you're a fan of somebody, we need you to buy the record. We have no gold albums in hip hop this year. No gold albums in hip hop.
Yeah, I mean it's because it's taking longer to position the records at radio. I mean, or we could put those albums out when it would take 6 to 8 weeks for a hip hop record to reach its peaking point. It's now taking 12 to 16 weeks, like an R&B record, because the consumers of hip hop products have low attention spans. Kids are not sure who's hot at that point because they get off that record onto another record before it's time to go out. You know, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with Drake's project because he's coming out for the first time. And it doesn't feel like a new artist. It feels like this guy's been here, like he's on his second album. Because they spent so much time marketing him, and the record's being played on radio. Like I can't wait to see how they respond to it.
50 has a new album. We put the single out, maybe put out a second single, or put out some on the internet. Put the single out, put the album out. Yeah. The labels are scared to put the records out. They scared to put the records out, and you know because everybody's trying to figure out and have some anticipation on what they think the record is gonna sell. Yeah. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? So it's an art. It's not a science. You'll never be able to figure it out.
Yeah, what the record's going to sell now? No, you can't go by what the record is going to sell now.
If 50 Cent had 15 new songs right now, if you have 15 new songs right now, you put a single out, and the single was doing great, and you put the album out, it would sell.
Yeah.
But we got artists now, and labels are putting out 3 and 4 and 5 records before they put the album out. Why should I buy the album?
If you put the first record out the right way, you good from there. Like, to get it, to clarify, you know, to the public what's actually going on, because they don't understand what's going on behind the scenes, right? Because I reached the point where I was making up 70% of the black music, the successful black music at Interscope Records. When I complained about the growth of the records, they offered me more money. They gave me more money, and I said thank you, and I went home smiling. And then I realized that the money was non-recoupable. You know, I mean, it was recoupable. Like, I had to recoup the money.
You had to pay the money back.
Yeah, so then I was like, so you didn't give me anything.
Right.
Pretty much you just told me to go learn how to do the radio.
You gave me a loan.
Right. So that now I take the money, I get the radio staff, I put my records out, I get them to 500 spins before the mothership kicks in and takes me where I need to go to sell the record. So when I drop Get Up, I get the 400 or 500 spins, and this is at a point where the major record companies are letting go 60% of their staff. It's a huge transition on the mothership. So when I got the record to where it needed to go with the first 400 or 500 spins, and then they was out of whack because they just fired half the staff. So now it's like my product manager, the person that was in new media, Ravid, is now my product manager. Her responsibility, she's doing the job that 3 people used to do. You got like everybody just shifted around. Everything was all crazy. So now I had to go back to redevelop what that system is within the system before we released this record. And then it was to sit down with M. Dre, Paul Rosenberg, Jimmy Iovine, Chris, everybody in the room, and we sit there and we go, you know what, this is the single, this is the second single, this is what we're going with after, let's launch this project, and kaboom, Baby by Me is out. I go sit with Polow. Polow's in a great space creatively right now.
It's crazy right now.
The first joint he played for me was Baby by Me. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm like, yo, I need that, give me that. I'll be right back. I don't really like the producers standing over my back because what he does best is make the beat. You don't rap better than me. You see what I'm saying? And I come back with the record, he hears, he be like, whoo, I'm glad you didn't let me stand over your back. Because that's it right there.
Hey, speaking of Polow, Mama Jones, happy birthday. Mama Jones' birthday is today.
Yeah.
Polow's mother's birthday is today.
Shout out to Mama Jones. Happy
Jones.
birthday.
50's in the studio. We're going to get a little deeper into it, though. We're going to talk about how the record companies set themselves up for all this in just a second. We're going to get into the single. A Polow da Don production shizzle. People Station, V103.
When this record ends up on Billboard, it'll be top 10 next week. You know, potentially it would go #1 after that. You know what I mean? So when you see it work like that, this is when I feel like I'm dead right. Like you can't tell me what I'm talking about. Like I know what's going on now. You know what I'm saying? Because the rest of my album is balanced out to the point, because I come from a rough environment, they look for me to offer the harsh reality. You know, the other artists, the things that other artists can do, they set parameters and boundaries for each artist. And they want that from them. The public.
Put you in a box.
Yeah, they do that. It's the same way, like they'll go, oh, 50 singing too much. Right? Like Ja used to try to hit notes on records. Because I added melody to my music and try to do something a little more melodic, is because I'm an international touring artist. Actually the biggest international touring artist in hip hop. So while I'm in all of these different countries that my music is breaking the language barrier, all these people can follow is the melody. This is what inspires me to add more melody to my music. You know, like on the last album, instead of touring in the US, I went to Croatia, Kosovo, Mumbai, India. I went through Chile, Medellin, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil. I went to Australia. I went to Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Gold Coast. I went through so many different territories. I just stayed out of America because they were saying I was #2, and I don't appreciate that. But now I'm back for the #1 spot.
Tonight we watching the movie. Movie's ATL Camp Creek in 25. You ready for it?
Ray J gonna come through tonight. He called.
Ray J just called. He said he's coming through tonight.
Yep.
G Unity.
Oh yeah, and Camilo out here.
Oh yeah.
Camilo out here. They play tonight. They play. Y'all gotta go check that game out. The Nuggets gonna get it in. I know.
So G Unity is going crazy right now.
Yeah, I've been doing different things. You know, I'm a philanthropist. It's been low though. It's been since 2003, Greg. I've been doing it, but you know, ain't nobody really noticed it until I was doing a project with Bette Midler, and it was like, wow, they are a couple. You know, out of nowhere. But I was restoring a park in my neighborhood. I felt like that'd be a good way to get back to the community, get the kids somewhere they can go play. Like the adults, they ain't never gave me nothing, so I don't owe them nothing. But the kids, you know, I try to better their experience in any way I can.
How's the vitamin water deal doing right now?
Oh, it's good. Like I still got Formula 50, the great version. You know, so I'm good with that. But I'm looking to do even bigger and better things. I'm ambitious. I mean, when you get rich, you run into wealth. You know, and these people make you feel like what you did was cool, but it was cute, Greg. You need to do it again. If you do it 3 or 4 more times, you'd be all right.
Yep.
You know, I had an experience. I was in France, and a guy asked me to come to a party, gave me 70,000 cash, right? I said, yeah, I'll come by you after the party. I'm only gonna be there for like 20 minutes though. He said, all right, we'll stop by. Got to the party, the location, there's 12 people there. He just wanted his friends to say, I met 50 at John's house. Now that's wealth. You know what I'm saying? When you can throw that kind of money away and it don't mean nothing. And I come back and I see the strip club activity where they throwing a few dollars, and they feel like that's like something major. I'm like, nah, I seen another world. I got another vision.